Hello, hello. I'm just waiting on Naomi. We are back. Well, I'm back. She is never left her home, I guess. So I'm back from visiting Naomi and just waiting for her to get her butt here on the live. I don't know where she is, so let's try and get her. You coming? Lady? Naomi? I lost her, Mercy. Okay, lady. Where are you?
There, hang on. Not enough time. I thought it was going to be. It was not. Okay, see you in a minute. I'm going to Instagram now.
Okay, see you in a minute. Bye. She's a comin', she's a comin', do 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 do. What are you crying about? What you crying about, madam? You got to be my co-host while I wait for Naomi. You don't want to co-host? You seem like you want to. Ow! 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 What are you doing? Ow! Goodbye. There she is.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mercy. Are you gonna come too? Hi, Mercy. Come here, Mercy. She's a little chaotic.
Just a little bit.
But like every time I go upstairs, she's like just crying. So we're here. We're doing it here. I look like I drove 5 hours today.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We are just yikes. I was like, oh, 6 o'clock. Okay, yeah, that'd be good.
Well, you had like regular people things to do today. So
yes, I did.
I just had to like get home. So
well, that was hours though.
That was hours. Mercy, come here.
Not like it was 5 minutes.
Come here and relax, please. Thank you. Sit down and say hi to the no people that are on this live. Come here.
Headphones. Okay.
Mercy, what is your problem? Come here. She's crazy pants. Anywho.
Well, now I'm good and sweaty, so oh wait. What's happening? Move myself here? No, here. There we go. Okay. Good grief. For those of you watching the replay, just know that we've had a very busy weekend.
Very busy weekend.
We are spent in every aspect of the saying. We had this grand idea that, oh my God, we're going to be face to face. We're going to be together. Of course, we're going to record an episode. No, because I drag Alyssa all around town, book thrift shopping. And then when it's done, we are also done.
So, I was done.
Oh, I was
so done. So done. Lady, if you go to the bathroom, I'm going to be so mad at you. because I've taken you out 1,000 times today. Okay.
He's like, but 1001, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Not okay with it. No, she's just super excited today.
Well, as
Which,
tired as I am, I'm super excited about this episode. It was a great idea of yours.
thank you. Occasionally I have good ideas.
You had, first of all, you had good ideas all weekend long. The whole weekend you had good ideas.
I tried.
Yeah.
This time around I tried. But yeah, this is a very the frig is the dog doing? This is a very I guess impromptu
Mm-hmm.
live
Mm-hmm.
recording for our Monday show in
Yeah.
advance so that
Yeah.
we can actually get something out tomorrow.
Exactly.
We're normally not this bad.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when we were talking about, oh, we're going to record face to face, we knew obviously we were going book thrifting, but I think we
Yeah.
forgot how energy draining it is when you're just bopping around town, going to all the thrift stores, and then spending hours in McKay used bookstore after all
Mhm.
the thrift store shopping.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
too much.
it is. It is.
It is so much. So we're just here to what are we doing? What are we talking about today? What is the point of this?
So what did you say? Which I thought, okay, you said we're going to do a weekend wrap up, and we had already planned on talking about our quarterly faves, and
Mhm.
then show off some of the books that we bought yesterday that we're kind of excited about.
Yes, we're not all of them because we would be here till the end of
Oh,
time.
you'll have to watch our individual book hauls on that one.
Yes, I already filmed both of mine.
You're so good. I filmed the insides of my eyelids as I was sleeping. That's it.
Well, I didn't get any sleep other than the 30-minute nap I took on the drive home. Well,
Oh my,
not like while I was driving, because I guess that does sound a little bit the way I phrased that. Like I was sleeping and driving.
right.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was it. That was what I did. I just drove home and then I filmed
Yeah.
my haul. You know why? Because I didn't immediately film my haul. I don't think I would have ever done it. So I have
Mm-hmm.
to edit this last week's vlog, which is going to be a buttload of footage.
Yeah, it
And
is.
then get the hauls out. So
Mm-hmm.
lots of stuff coming. But yeah, so that's the point of the live today. And everybody bear with my brain deadness. Do you want to go first on what you are currently reading? Did you pull a currently reading?
No, because I've just been putting everything else together.
I am like
Oh, but you know
super,
what? It's right here. I have it
super
right here.
ready. I am super ready.
I have it. I have it right here. So this is like my nighttime tote bag when I go upstairs
Okay.
to read if I can't read outside. All right. So I'm still currently reading. Do I want to hang on? Do I want to mention that? I'm going to mention it. So I'm still currently reading Tomb of Sand by Tanjuli Shri, translated by Daisy Rockwell, and this is one of the international Booker long list and short list books. I've been reading this not as consistently as I wanted to, but I've been reading this throughout the month of April,
Okay.
and so so here's where I am with it. I think the writing is actually really good, and there are actually some really funny parts about this book. And often I'm reading it, and there's something that's very profound that's been stated, or something I really feel a connection to.
Hmm.
But what I thought the book was about, I feel like I'm sort of kind of getting it, but not the way I thought I was.
Okay.
And I can't DNF it because I do enjoy the writing. And I
Mm.
also really I need to see
What
what
happened?
happens in the story, in particular with the mother and the daughter, but also now the daughter-in-law.
Oh, you've got more
So
people in this.
yeah, so I'm not having a great time. I'm having I'm having a good time some of the time.
You're having an okay-ish time reading
Right.
Tomb of Sand.
Right. So I
Okay.
only have, let's see, I stopped 4 days ago on page 555. So I'll probably just finish this tomorrow. So that's what I'm currently
The
reading.
problem is that, like, I was really excited to read that book, and was part of the reason why you were excited to read that book. And now I'm less excited to read that book.
So we're having the same thing happen, right, with books, because we were both excited to read the books of Jacob, and that's a whole other thing. You all watch our vlog on that, and I started it. I think it was last week, but the excitement that I had for it, I don't have anymore because I'm afraid I'm not going to enjoy the reading experience. But I may delve into it like seriously next week.
I think you're gonna like the books of Jacob because I feel like everybody's like the books of Jacobs, and either they really like the books of Jacob because they actually like it, or they are lying because they feel
Ooh.
like they're supposed to like it for some like literary hoity-toity reason.
Ooh,
Yeah,
hot
and I said
take.
it.
Hot
I said
take.
it. I think there's a small fraction of people that are like, "I love this book," that
I
actually are just saying it because they don't understand it, so therefore they think it's good.
But doesn't that always happen with
Yes,
certain books all the
yes,
time? Yes,
yes,
I agree. I
yes,
agree.
yes. So I'm also just yeah. Anyway, so
Feeling
I
spicy?
I'm getting spicy. I'm tired. I was gonna because my wine delivery came while I was down with you, and I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna like open it up because obviously Jesus didn't open and unpack it because why would he unpack anything? This is not what this live is about. As I sit here and look at all the crumbs on the carpet, and I'm like, going away is just making more work for myself. Anyway,
Right.
um, I was gonna pour myself a glass of wine, and I was like, "No, I think if I have a glass of wine on this live, I'm just gonna go to sleep."
That's for after. That's for
So
after.
I opened a seltzer. Anyway, so I on the way home restart. So I'm currently listening now to The Bone Orchard. So I started
Oh.
reading this as an e-arc because Tor sent it to me, and Tor actually sent
Mhm,
me a beautiful finished copy as well. Thank you, Tor, because it is stunning.
mhm.
And I couldn't tell if I was just, like, not into the arc because I just was kinda, like, not engaged because it's an ebook and it's harder for me to get engaged with ebooks, like,
Right?
what the dealio was. So, I went and I got the audiobook and started listening to this from the beginning
Mhm.
on the drive up, and I don't think it's gonna be a five-star read. However, I am much more invested in it. It is a very interesting and complex fantasy world. Um, it's giving me like Gideon the Ninth meets the Helm of Midnight sort of vibes.
Oh, that's an interesting
Um,
combination.
it's and I can't. I think it's because there's this like police force that sounds a little bit like the Helm of Midnight people with the masks. There's a lot of like weird things that are going on. Like basically, if you have psychic abilities, and
Mhm.
like any sort of psychic ability that manifests at some later stage in life, like late teenagehood, I think it starts to come out.
Right?
You either go insane and possibly murder people, um, or
Oh,
you have to have this crystal lock, mind lock thing put on your brain so that you don't go crazy. So
well,
like
that does sound like Hell at
that's a
Midnight.
part that sounds like Hell at Midnight, but then there's this
Mhm.
whole like kind of necromancer thing going on too, where
What?
they can like regrow these ghost people. It's
What? This
and
is wild.
they're like ghost prostitutes. Anyway, so and it's also kind of a mystery because this woman who was like seemingly like the concubine, the escort, the whatever of the
Right.
late emperor gets tasked with figuring out who murdered him. Of like, and he's got like 3 or 4 sons or something like that. This whole thing, so like she has to figure out who killed him, and
Okay.
and that's the very beginning of the story, and obviously there's a regime change and because he dies and all these things start to happen and you mix in all this crazy like necromancery like weird
Yeah.
stuff and it's definitely weird and it's definitely complex in the way that Gideon the Ninth kind of is where it's confusing,
Mhm.
but I think it's less confusing than Gideon the Ninth. um
Okay.
it's slightly more approachable and like I'm like not I'm like kind of into it
I mean,
But I think
it
it's a
sounds
very
interesting.
specific person's gonna like this book. Like, I'm not gonna be like, everybody read it.
Yeah, I mean, the things that you're describing to me sound very appealing to my reader brain.
Yeah, like, it's an Alyssa book, but I don't know if everybody would like it because
Yeah,
it's definitely it's a little
it's a little out
different.
there.
It's a little different, but
Yeah.
I enjoy it, so we're good. We're enjoying it.
Wow.
I'm glad I gave it a second shot, and I'm glad that I had the audio and I had a credit and I could grab the audio so that I could try it out.
So you reading it physically just wasn't working in the
No,
beginning. Okay.
mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
just because it is a little. I don't know. I think it does well in the audiobook because it's well done. There's a lot of different. The lady does a lot of voices,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Sometimes I just prefer audiobooks because I feel like most books are written. Words are written to be spoken. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's there's something that happens when it's out loud, and I like it.
Yeah.
It's better. Anyway, that's just how
That
I
sounds
feel.
interesting. Is this a standalone or a series?
Standalone.
Nice.
That makes you
Sometimes a
happy.
standalone is really nice.
Yes. So that's what I'm currently reading. Mhm.
Okay. I'm
So do
digging
you
it. I'm
want to
digging it.
go over our quarterly favorites first? We were picking 6, right? Because I have 6.
Yes, 6 quarterly favorites. Yes, I
Okay.
have to break out my notes because I only physically own 3 out of my 6. All right.
I own 5 of my 6, so we're doing good.
We're doing amazing. All right. Oh, you said I'm going or you're going?
Oh, I don't care. What do you want to do?
You go.
Rock Miko? Okay,
Hmm.
we'll just start at the top of my pile. I think I actually ended up with 2 from each month, but it was hard because I had a lot in March that I really wanted, but I tried to like even it
Yeah.
out. So I guess we'll start in January with The Street by Anne Petraeu because like this has to be on there because this is
Of course.
fantastic.
It's
And
amazing.
I feel like I've talked about this enough, but this is a classic that if you haven't read it, please go read it. It
Hmm.
is beautifully written and is I mean, I don't know what else to say about it just because we've already talked about this before
Yeah.
on the channel. If you really want a big or a bigger deep dive into it, books are pop culture. I think their first 2 episodes
Yes. Are
uh,
about the street. Hmm.
are about the street. So, and they really break it down. But it's just it's I it's stunning, and I don't know how it took me this long to read it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't even know about Ann Petrie until a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
So completely missed out. But thankfully, the book community is here to help us out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting to read on the back of Passing
Passing. Yes.
and how you can have the same sort of neighborhood in Harlem 20 years ago, 20
Hmm.
years apart.
Yeah.
Um, and have 2 sort of very different experiences by our main characters.
Right.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
As it should be recommended all of the
the
time.
time.
Yes. I'm hoping that we can get to The Narrows by Ann Petrie this year.
Well, we just have to do it.
Yeah. So that would be great too. All the books are on the list, y'all. All the books are on the
Yeah.
list.
So, I mean, we talked about it so much, but
Yeah.
it's so good, and I couldn't not put it on. So
Yeah.
it has to be there.
Yeah. All right. So one of my quarterly faves is the Decagon House Murders by Yukito
Ooh.
Ayatsuji. And this is translated from the Japanese. And I just kind of devoured the story. We did talk about it on our episode where what was it? January in
January
Japan.
Man. Yeah.
That was the episode, January in Japan, and we talked about all the books that we read during that month, and that was one of them. Great Murder Mystery. I read this physically. I don't know if there's an
There
audiobook
is
or
no
not.
audiobook.
Okay, so there's no audiobook. But reading it physically, you just kind of fly through it. So some folks that are kind of that are a part of this like murder newsletter, they get together, go to this house. It's on some island way out there, and they're stranded there because the guy that took them there is the one that has the boat, so they can't
Mhm.
just leave.
Yeah.
And murder ensues, and it's great. And the person who did it, I actually never saw it coming, and that was quite delightful, not knowing who the actual murderer was.
So when you were describing that back when we talked about it for that episode, it gave me all the "and then there were none" vibes. Like
Yeah.
it had major Agatha Christie vibes. And I do have it up there. And now that we're talking about it again, I'm thinking I've been trying to figure out what books I want to focus on for May, especially since I'm going on vacation for a week.
Well, that'll be a
Maybe
good one.
that would be a good like plain book.
That'll be a good one. Yes, it would.
So I'm gonna have to like put that aside.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Yes, it
lot of
would.
thought tomorrow going into my
Mhm.
TBR for May
Oh,
because I
yes.
haven't done it, and I just realized on the drive up here today that it's May 1st, so it's a
Yeah,
new month.
I don't know what's going on with my cuckoo brain. I was like, oh, I have one more day left in April. No, today is the 1st of May. Like, for real.
Yep,
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake is coming out. It's
Yeah.
gonna be May. Um, I have been in the car for too long today. Oh, hey, Toni Morrison's Jazz is also set in Harlem during the same period as
Oh, I have that.
Oh, I don't have that. We need to do that.
Yep, I forgot that. Ooh, thank you for
Yes,
that.
because we were talking a lot when we were talking about the street about the different socioeconomic status
Mhm.
between the ladies in passing and the ladies in and the lady in the street.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Claire is in her own little stratosphere, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, Rini has a much more highbrow life than
Very much so. She's a lady of society.
yeah. So anyhow, that's like thank you. That was a fantastic recommendation. I have to get that. Um, so also from January, none of mine are in any particular order. I'm only organizing these
Mine
just by
either.
my two from each month because that's how my brain worked. Is going to be Sex Cult Nun by Faith Jones because I just can't stop thinking about this book, and this is about Faith Jones and how she was raised in the cult Children of God, which is this crazy religious cult
Mhm.
that had such lovely things like hooking for Jesus and there was a lot
Okay.
of child abuse and all kinds of other things that were rampant throughout the church and like I just don't know. She's a lawyer now. Like I'm like I the amount of counseling she's had to probably go through because I don't know how you
Oh, I can't even
I don't know
imagine.
how you recover from a lot of the things that she
Yeah.
went through, and it's a crazy ride, and, if you like nonfiction books about cults, it's a fantastic one to read. Um, yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. I really can't.
Yeah.
There and it's hard to read, but you also can't stop. It's like a train wreck. You're like, I
Mhm.
it's because it gets worse. So, and I guess like her father was the son of the founder or something like that. So they were like pretty important to the cult.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, they
Oh.
weren't just like any cult members.
That's
They
a
were
totally
like
different dynamic then.
they were part of the family.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Mhm.
gross. Okay.
Mhm.
Get it,
So,
read it. All right. My next one is The Days of Abandonment by Elena Ferrante, translated from the French. And I think everyone knows by now that I'm a Ferrante stan.
you
Period.
are
Period.
you love
That's just what I
Elena.
am. But the Days of Abandonment is about a married couple. They have 2 kids, and the husband decides that he no longer wants to be in this marriage. And what a twerp. What I really, really enjoyed about this story was how it did not shy away from every single thought and emotion a woman in her position would feel and experience after being left by this type of man that she was married to. It felt very raw.
Yeah.
It felt very real. It felt very grown up. And you could really visualize this person going through all of those, I don't know what stages of being abandoned,
Mhm.
by your spouse and having to still try to gather what was once you or what you thought was you, or maybe try to find the new you, trying to raise your children and also trying not to crack under the constant thought of what your estranged husband is
Husband's
doing
feeling.
with other people, other women. It's a lot. And I think that the way Ferrante wrote it was perfection. So, highly recommend The Days of Abandonment.
It was very good. I did read it because you made me, and
And
it was
it's a very quick
it's
read.
very short. It's very quick. It was very good. And I think it's very relatable if you've been there. I mean, I obviously I don't have children, so I didn't have to deal with that aspect during
Hmm.
my own divorce, but it's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot to
It's a
process.
lot.
So,
Even the kids, like, she managed to even really tap into how hard it is for kids when kids are
mhm,
part of a, family structure that has separated, and kids don't always know. They don't know what's going on. Okay, they don't know
they don't.
why marriage broke down. They don't know why their parents aren't together. But it is so frequent that the children become very angry with the mother
Mhm,
because they're really angry with the father for leaving. But I think in the back of their mind, they don't want to be angry at him because they don't want him to forget them. And
mhm.
so it's all of those emotions that kids have, and they're not developed in the brain enough to process all of those feelings. And I think that she also tapped into that pretty well.
And also, I think oftentimes children get left with their mother, um,
Hmm.
and so the father has a very different role, whether they're good or a bad father, that's not part of the
Hmm.
argument here, but, like, you come into it. You get to come in and out almost like your grandparents do, where you get to
Yeah,
be like, you don't have to have the added stress of the daily rearing of your children and
exactly.
all of that worry, so it just ends up being a very different relationship, so you can be the
Hmm.
fun dad while mom has to be the one that's always, like, yelling at you or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
So
or just
and
just
it just creates
rearing
automatically
you in the
creates
right
very
way. Exactly.
you
Mhm.
automatically create a very different divide, um, in those scenarios, so,
Yeah, very much so.
um, I mean, I feel like all of my books are gonna be fairly obvious, but if you've been listening along, and if you're subscribed to my channel, you probably know everything, but of course, have to do Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead,
Hmm.
because this by Olga Tokarczuk.
Tokarczyk.
Maybe that was right. I've been trying, and I don't think it's getting any better, but I can continue to try. And, like, this was just so stinking good, and part of me is a little mad that I started here with her writing instead of working up, but I don't know if I would have read her other things if I hadn't read this and loved it so much. So, I'm very conflicted on the order in which I've read the 3 books that I've or, like, 2.5 books I've read of hers because 'cause I've read a
Hmm.
lot of books of Jacob before I abandoned it.
Yeah, you
Um,
did.
and so, like, this is fantastic. You have this woman who in this small town, and basically all these people keep dying, um, and she's kinda helping the investigation a little bit, um, but she's also really bitter and
Yes, she is.
has a lot of very biting remarks about society that aren't necessarily untrue, um, and she's kind of ridiculed. I feel like the men in particular in this town kind of treat her like she's a little off, like there's
Hmm.
just something wrong with her, and I think there just might be a little something wrong with her.
Just
But
a
you
little bit.
but but I also kind of understand all of her motivation, so I don't she's a very unlikable character that I think you grow to empathize with
Hmm.
by the end of it, and I enjoy I loved it. And there's sighthounds on the
It is a
cover.
lovely cover, and I'm still holding back some of my thoughts on both of the other books that we read until I guess until I
You gotta
either finish or dinner books of Jacob, so we can have this discussion about all three of her books and what we thought about them, yada
Mhm,
yada yada. So
mhm. Yeah. I did not like the books of Jacob.
yeah.
I still have a hold, uh, on the audiobook for if it comes back, I may attempt to finish it. We'll see.
Okay. Okay. But you
Be
got at least halfway through though, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought.
Before I abandoned it, yeah.
Okay, we'll see. All right. My third book, right? My third book is Cantoras. I think I'm saying that right. By Carolina de Robertes. I feel like I'm not saying that right. And this is, let's see, 1977 under Uruguayan, is that how you say it? Dictatorship.
Mhm,
And you have these five women who are queer, and it is very dangerous during this time to be, homosexuality is not looked upon very nicely. You can be
mhm.
beaten, kidnapped, murdered. It's a big deal. So these 5 women who are friends and also queer, some are married, some are not, to men. Some are married to men, some are not, and they're desperately seeking some kind of refuge, some kind of a just a slice of life to get away from the dictatorship that they're living every day, some kind of personal freedom. And they go to some island and they end up finding some house that they decide to pull their money together and buy and use it as like their little getaway. And
Mhm.
it was really quite lovely. But of course, these things that seem so wonderful and thought, you don't really think about some of the implications, like, well, what if we find other lovers? What if, just all the what ifs, right? And so you're watching these women deal with their husbands and their non-resort lives, and they're dealing with the dictatorship, and they got other family issues going on. There's one woman in particular, they don't really know her background, but she's got a lot going on and she's yet to kind of reveal what's going on with her. So there's that
Mhm.
whole mystery piece. And love triangles, lots of heartbreak, lots of new love. It's very exciting, and kind of delicious at times, but also heartbreaking, because
Aw.
some really sad things happen, especially when you start getting into the backstory of some of those characters. A couple of those
Uh-huh.
characters had absolutely horrific experiences with their parents
Aw.
and the
I know.
church. So it was a lot, but I really think this was a great story, and I would read it again in a heartbeat.
I think I have that. I think I got it on an Audible sale or something after you mentioned it once. What was it called again? Cantoras?
Yes, Cantoras. It's a if you're looking for a really
Ah, yes.
um if you're looking for a really adult queer story that's written really well, I would recommend this.
Let me share my screen so people can see
So
it.
I was hoping we would have found this while we were out during our book thrifting excursion, but I didn't. So since I didn't find it in person, I'm going to buy a used
Order it.
copy online. The same with Days of Abandonment. I was actually looking for that as well.
So this is the book here.
Yeah.
That
Yep. So yeah, Cantors. And this was a book that was highly recommended by Russell from Ink and Paper blog.
we do love a good Russ
hmm
recommendation. Go
Yeah,
give
he's
him a
talked about this for a long
follow.
time. This has been on my list for a long time.
Go give him a follow.
Yeah,
He's the best. And
he is.
he just seems like I feel like he'd be a good hugger. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing to say?
No, it's not. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in here love songs because I mean I couldn't have a list without love songs, and
Well,
we have
let's
an
just knock that
entire
out at the same time then.
'cause we have an entire episode just talking about love songs, and I don't think we touch on even half of what we could have in
Right.
here because we would have
hmm
been there for days.
hmm
This story is just impeccably written and so compelling, and I think about these characters often. I'm sad for them, I'm
Yeah.
happy for them, it's wonderful, and don't let the size of it scare you. It's
Right.
fantastic,
It
it
is
moves, it's beautiful.
very
Read
true.
it,
Please read it.
and if you want all of our thoughts, we have a whole episode about it.
We do.
So
We
you
do.
can we don't need to I don't know, bore you with it, but not
All right.
re-bore
So
you.
that
I'm
that
very tired.
that knocked out one of mine. So that's great. So now I've just got 2 left. So that's wonderful. So my fifth book is Kitchens of the Great Midwest by J. Ryan Straddle. And I've talked about him. I've got my light right here that's kind of blurring that photo out, but I've talked about him before.
Is this the brew one?
Um, he also wrote the book, The Lager Queen of Minnesota, which I also love. I read that book first. I think that was his second novel. I think this was his debut, but
Mhm.
I read this one second. And once again, I loved it. I do enjoy how Mr. Strader writes women. I think he does a great job. So, to sum this up, a man and a woman meet, they get married, they have a child. Wife decides she's not really cut out to be a mother. She's not about this life. She doesn't want to be tied down by a man or a child. She has great ambitions to do other things.
Mhm.
And she leaves.
Okay.
She leaves. And the husband, in his brother and sister-in-law, they all decide that they're just going to, like, raise her together, and they're not really going to speak ill of the mother. This was the father's decision. His brother and his wife weren't so happy about that because they're just like, how could you ever leave your child? But he didn't
Yeah.
want the daughter to really know that her mother abandoned her. I don't know if I should say what's next, but anyway, something happens to the dad, and the rest of the book follows this young girl growing up and all the decisions she makes. And she has a really interesting um, obsession, love, desire around planting. She's a really interesting girl. So I don't want to spoil anything, but you're following all of her journey into that and how she chooses to live her life and to make money. And I thought it was really lovely. And
Yeah.
I won't tell you whether or not her mother dies or ever sees her again or anything like that. You just have to read the book.
You have to read the book.
You have to read the book.
Yeah.
But it was a great story. And also another short read. You can read it in a day.
We do love a good short read. I guess
Yeah.
you were going to talk about a short read. I'll pull out Little Scratch by Rebecca Watson, which I would encourage you to listen to if you can, because that's how I did it. And I think it's like the best way of doing it. It's a 4-hour-ish audio, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a very short little book, but it's stream of consciousness writing, which you either love it or you hate it. But it's basically this woman or your main character, and it's every thought she has basically in a day, which sounds incredibly mundane, but what you
Like,
realize
yeah.
through
Like
doing this,
Dexter Report.
it's doing all of her internal monologues. So it's little things like what she's gonna wear to work that day, but then we realize is that she's experienced a really great trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and how that trauma leaks into all the little moments of her life. Um, and that hamster wheel of thought that it when she kind of gets on, she can't get off. So she goes through a large portion of the like maybe the first third, almost 2/3 of the book before you really realize just how much this trauma has affected her. And I think it's very true to how you think and feel when you're keeping like the secret of this trauma. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
how you relive it when certain moments can make you relive it and can trigger you to just have that cycle of thoughts um,
Yeah.
just come in and be incredibly intrusive. So I really enjoyed it. It's definitely like like there's trigger warnings, so look them up. But yeah, if it's not something that's gonna bother you, I think it's fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed it, and I really like it, but I would like the UK copy because I think the
Mm.
UK edition is prettier.
Interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Sounds like Duck's Dewberry Port.
But way shorter.
Oh yes, way way shorter.
But I have Ducks Newberry on my McKay's haul list always, and
I do too, and I never see it.
we never see it. Sorry,
I
I'm
never
sitting on the
see it.
floor, so I'm just
Yeah.
constantly moving.
I always have my fingers crossed that I'll see it, and I never ever do. So
Mm-mm.
move your mic back a little bit. It's
Oh,
picking up all
sorry.
your feedback.
Sorry.
So yeah, maybe we'll just have to get it from Abe or something because I've been looking for like over a year and not once have I seen it. Okay, my final quarterly fave, everybody should know, is Cleopatra and Frankenstein.
Didn't you
Everybody
read
should know
that
it.
in April though? Did you read that in March?
I read it in March. I started reading it again at the end of March.
Oh, because you
And
read it in March, in April. You're gonna read it in May, June, July.
look, you know what? I'm just savoring it, just reading a
You
few pages
love
here and
it.
there. It's just so enjoyable. It's about this girl named Coco, this guy named Frank. She's younger, he's older, and they meet on the street New Year's Eve, and they get married, and you watch them kind of flirt and fall in love, and then you watch things implode, and it's wonderful. I've already talked about this book. I think 3 episodes back,
And she's
but
never gonna shut up about it. She loves it so much.
I'm just never gonna shut up about it. That's
That's
all I can say.
okay. There's
I
nothing
just every
wrong with
time I
that.
see it, I want to hug it, and yeah, it was a great story.
There's nothing
So
wrong with
much
it.
that I just related to. Just a lot of things felt very familiar and like, yeah, been there,
Shout
heard
it from
that,
a mountain.
I've said that. I've done that. Yeah, very much. Oh, and that's Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors.
Coco Malors. It's a
It's a
great
great
name.
name.
All right. I'm gonna stop wiggling around like a weirdo.
Yeah, because we
So
got to
my
recap this weekend. Oh no, you're
no,
done. You're not done
I
yet.
have
Sorry,
one
you're not
more
done. Sorry,
book,
you're not done. You're not
ma'am,
done.
and
Sorry.
that is All My Rage by Sabbath here. I'm gonna keep talking about this. I've talked about it about a bajillion times now. This book is so good. It's her first like contemporary YA that I'm aware of. She does have the Ember and the Ashes series, which I need to get back to.
Oh, that's who
But
that
this is the
is.
contemporary. And this is fantastic. You would probably like it just for the fact that it goes back and forth in a dual timeline.
Yes,
Um,
I like a dual timeline.
do like a timeline,
Hmm.
but you essentially have these two young kids in California who both come from oh my god, why is my brain not working? They both come from did they come from my where did they come from again? I don't want to say the wrong country, and my brain is dead.
Oh,
Pakistan. There we go.
okay.
I was like, because I'm gonna say the wrong country because that was not the one that was at the front of my mouth. Anyway, so they both are in California. They're these young kids, and they have very different parental kind of units and backgrounds, but they end up becoming friends because they're the only Pakistani children in their class, and they end up having like a love story, but it's not a happily ever after smoochy smoochy love story. It is a very trauma filled um from and then healing love story um because they're the only two people that really can relate to each other.
Hmm.
And they've both been through incredibly traumatic events and continue to go through some traumatic events, and it is heartbreaking at times to watch them deal with everything that they've experienced. It is upsetting to see some of the things they experience from classmates. And then there's also the story of their parental units. Like she lives with her uncle, and his mother and father own this like motel because that was always her dream, was to own a motel. And you see their lives back in Pakistan. You see them here, and the way that all of everything that has happened in their lives has affected them, but then also been affecting the children and yada yada yada. So it's just incredibly moving and
Yeah.
powerful. And yeah, it's a must read. You have to read it. Everyone read it. Read it. Just read it. Please read it. And it needs a soundtrack because our one of our main characters is just Nora is just obsessed with music. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of music that is referenced throughout, and I mean things from like the 80s through to today that
Oh,
get referenced
nice.
throughout the book, and it is just itching for like there are some playlists on Spotify for it. But it is definitely a good playlist of book. Some books just call to have music to them, and this is one of them. So yeah.
I was wondering what other books she wrote. Like that name sounded familiar, but I couldn't place the series. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I
and
couldn't put my finger on it.
and the writing is really good. Like you would actually like this YA. This is a YA you would enjoy.
Maybe I'll get the audiobook. It sounds like I can listen to the audio and not have to like read
Y-
along.
You have the audiobook.
Oh, it's part of our Libra, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yes. Boom. Okay, there we go. All right.
You would like it.
Okay.
Yes. So let's talk about our weekend.
What a weekend.
And if anybody wants to shout out any books they loved in the first quarter, let us know.
Yes.
Comments, chat, anywhere.
Yes.
We want to hear them. We want all the book
We
recommendations.
want all the book,
Recommendations.
well, all the book recommendations. I should have taken off work tomorrow. I tell you.
I am sleeping tomorrow.
You need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
because so you came down to
Thursday.
visit me on Thursday and left on Sunday, and we had a jam-packed weekend. We did a lot of things. What do we do
Mhm.
Thursday?
I
We
got
didn't
my
waste any time.
we got our toes done,
Yeah, we got a pedicure.
and we went out for Mexican.
We sure did. Did we go
Yeah.
to? Oh, did we go to Barnes and Noble that night or no?
No, because they were closed.
That's right. That's
I
right.
didn't get down to you until like 6. We like I like got into the hotel, and then we went and got pedicures.
Right, which was really fun. She had a great
She was so mean. She kept tickling my feet.
she was mean in the nicest, sweetest way. She really got a kick out of the fact that Alyssa is so ticklish
I'm
on her
super
feet, and it was
ticklish.
adorable. But that was very nice. So that was Thursday, and then Friday.
What did we do on Friday? Oh, Friday.
Friday, you had the brilliant idea of, so at McKay Used Books, you can trade in your books, and you can either get cash for them or store credit. So she had the great idea of, instead of waiting to do all of that on Saturday where we're doing all the book shopping, let's go on Friday to do just the
Drop off.
unhauling and dropping off of the books that we want to give to McKay. So that was a great idea. So we did that and got all gassed up because we were going to drive to the city. Got all dressed up in our fancy gear because we had tickets to the Bridgerton Experience Queen's Ball, and it was amazing.
It was so
amazing.
good.
It's worth every penny. Worth every penny.
That was so well done. And like I can't believe that they did that.
Oh yes, Paradise Falls.
Oh yes, I need to do that. I have that somewhere.
Okay, just a sidebar. That book was so well researched and so well done. I had no idea that even happened. I had no idea. I never heard of it before, and that book gave me such a high level of stress and anxiety. I was tense and I couldn't stop reading it because I couldn't believe that all of this actually happened. And it will enrage you because of how they treated people. It was awful.
Those books always, like, every time they do a book like that, it gets me. Like, I'm like, how?
Yeah, it was awful the way they treated those people. Just seeing how everyone was so concerned with their either the bottom line of the corporation or their career aspirations. Oh, when you read it, please DM me. Let me know what you thought about it. I'd love to know.
Yes.
Okay,
there you go.
Back to Bridgerton.
This is us at Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. It was beautifully designed. And what we were both saying that we liked was, so when you walked in, there are all these photo stations that are very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't cost anything extra. Like your ticket included that, which was nice because they could have been a cash grab too, right?
Yeah, I mean, they just got me at the bar, but that's okay. I was excited.
Yeah. So it was beautiful. I mean, I think that everything was well choreographed and beautifully designed. It was fun. They did a good job at including people and being a part of the experience. Oh my God, it's so great.
It was so good. And look at you being a queen.
It was so good. Oh,
look at you, queen.
Oh, it was so fun.
We love you.
It was just so great. And everybody looked so pretty and dressed up. That was great.
We were like the two old ladies that just ran around going, "Oh my God, look at you. You're so beautiful. Oh, what are you wearing?"
Exactly.
But it was just so like, and I think it was like the perfect thing because we've all sort of been trapped in our houses for 2 years. And I'm sure like maybe not exactly 2 years, but we pretty much haven't really socialized with gusto in a while. And like it was just so nice to get super dressed up for like adult prom and go out and have a good time.
Yes.
And just I mean, it was a ball.
It was a night to remember. It absolutely was. It absolutely
Pun intended. It was a ball.
Yeah. So if anyone is out there that's planning to go, please know you do need to show a vaccination card when you get there. So don't leave it home. Don't leave home without it because you will not be able to go in. So just read all the instructions.
They definitely turned people away. So,
yes, they did. So please have your ID, your vaccination card, have your QR code ready. They're going to look at all of that.
And then you get to have all the fun.
All of the fun.
And they're like, they had a few different photo stations and they were really just beautiful. They really were beautiful. And the little show was fun. Like, it was just, my only complaint is that it should be longer.
Yeah, because it was an hour and a half, 4:30 to 6. That was our time slot. But like, it could have stretched another hour. Yeah. Like it could have. Yeah, for sure.
Easily.
Yes.
Because like you're just starting to get really into it, and then they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I didn't know we'd get to like, party on the dance floor at the very end. So that was a nice
Yeah,
surprise.
that was a good time. You
Yeah.
church ladying
Yeah.
through the thing.
It's like, I'm hot, but I'm going.
Going.
I'm going. So it was a really fantastic event. Hats off to whoever the
Producers are this.
producers are,
Yeah,
because again, just absolutely
yeah,
beautiful.
it's really, really,
Beautiful.
really, really well done.
Hmm. So that was Friday. And then after we left the ball, we went out to dinner and sat outside in all of our,
And our finery.
regalia, just looking wonderful and having people ask us where we're going or where we're coming from.
Why are we dressed like this?
Right. The eyes were so funny. And yeah, what did we do after that? Had dinner, which was great. I took her to one of my favorite restaurants, Busboys and Poets.
Coffee and Barnes and Noble.
Oh yes, and then we had the nerve to go to Barnes and Noble in our gear. That's right. That's right.
You have the
Just
nerve. I'd go anywhere. What do you
nice
want
and
to do? We
fancy.
could have gone to grocery shop. I mean, I would have
Well,
done it.
we
I don't
should have
care.
just gone to the grocery store just because and taken photos. That would have been
I
really
would have.
fun.
I would have. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'll do that on any given Tuesday if you want to get dressed up. I'll go
hey,
anywhere. I don't care.
yeah, yeah. So that was Friday. That was a long day, but so fun.
That was not the longest day. Yesterday was the longest day.
Saturday was the longest day. So I have really good thrift stores in my area that have pretty decent book selections.
You really
And
do.
then,
It is
yeah,
like
it's gold, man.
it's crazy. I don't have that.
And then I also have McKay Used Bookstore, which, if you are a reader,
Is
this
the
is like
mothership.
Disneyland. It really is. It is like Disneyland for a reader. That place does not disappoint at
No.
all. At all.
No, it's fantastic. And we're such cheapskates at McKay's because we're like, oh, that's $3. I'm not
Right,
buying
like
that.
wait a minute. This is going in
Wait
at
a second.
$3.99. That's going in the maybe
Baby
pile.
pile.
It's true. We're laughing, but it's true. It's true.
You
But I
talking?
guess that's
Come here. You want to come on the
is
show? You're
benefit
talking.
the right word to use? I guess when you read a lot of backlist books, that's one of the benefits is you get most of your books at no cost. Hi, Mercy.
She was talking.
So yeah. So Saturday, you want to talk about Saturday?
I was just there along for the ride. We went to that like thrift mall thing.
Oh, be thrifty. There's this weird. It's a thrift store, yes, but it's like there are different vendors inside this one building, and there's a book vendor in there. There's never a person there. There's just one cashier in the place, but it's a strange place. We found a few things there.
We did find a few things there.
Yeah.
And their prices, I will say, like their prices and Salvation Army's prices are better than Savers and Second Avenue.
Well, and then for Be Thrifty on Thursdays, if you have their little membership card, you get 50% off of the books. So you can walk out of there buying books at like 50 cents each. It's insane.
I mean, I'm here for all of that.
Yeah. So we went to Be Thrifty, and then we went across the street to the Salvation Army. I don't think we thought we were going to find a lot of stuff in there. We got a good number of books out of there as well.
Well, I was all like crampy and tired, so I was just sitting on the treadmill that was in front of the books for a while, and then slowly I kept going, well, that looks good. And that looks good.
Exactly. So we hit that, and I hadn't been in those two thrift stores in a while, over a year. So it was nice to go in there and see what they had. And then we went to our usual, went to 2nd Avenue. If you have a 2nd Avenue, or I think sometimes it's called Value Village, you should definitely check it out because they have a great book section. And we did some damage in there as well.
You got like so many books that I wanted. You got them.
I mean, you got the sweetness of, what is it?
I got one of the books that you wanted, The Sweetness of Water.
I'm just saying.
You got like 4 of the books that I had on
my list. but then after we left, but then you got me back. After we left 2nd Avenue, which is Savers, and she kept seeing the Europa books before I did. So she got all of those. Mm-hmm.
Nanny poo.
So we did some damage at all those thrift stores.
All of them.
4 of them.
All of them.
Yeah. We got some food and then headed to McKay. And I think we were in there for 3 hours?
We were there for a while. McKay is always a long journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't, I think there's another McKay in, it's Texas, right? That's where,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. I can't speak for that
I
one, you
think there's
guys.
2 in Tennessee.
I can't speak for those. I'm in Virginia. The McKay in Manassas, Virginia is amazing. Prices are great. I don't
Mhm.
know about the others, so I have no experience with those.
I like your McKays because of their fantasy section. I think that their
It's deep.
fantasy section is stellar.
It is deep.
It is huge,
Yeah.
and it is they had just have so much, like, and especially if you wanna read, like, backlist fantasy, but not just like, you can find, like, I don't know, it's just there's so much there, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I spend the most time there every time you've taken me because you
Yeah.
just kinda, like, you have to sift through everything, and it's, like, loosely alphabetized,
Yeah.
so you really have to go through all of the stacks because something might be not with all the other ones, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's the same with the sci-fi and the westerns.
yeah, the
It's
Westerns has a large section
oh
too,
yes.
and I'm always like, "Are we out of Westerns yet?" Because I don't care. So, like, I don't wanna get
Yeah,
any Westerns.
exactly. It's a massive
Romance
store.
is pretty big too, but I feel like the romance is really, it's really the books are real beat up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. McKay is one of those places where, because people are coming in there all throughout the day to
mhm.
trade books in for store credit. And so what I normally do is I'll do, one go round, and then I'll do another one, because during the first go round I think about all the people that have come in to trade in books, and I'm like, and they've restocked stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah, they
So then
do.
I'll go around again. And every time I go around again, there's something that I want that wasn't there during my first walk around.
Yeah.
So like you can't go there thinking like, oh, I'm just, it's a quick little 30-minute little trip. No, 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 no. No, no, no. It takes time.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
So we made out big there, because I think I got like $136 in store credit from the books that I traded in, and you got,
Like 160 something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we had some money to spend.
And I still have money.
Yeah, exactly.
I
And look,
wouldn't have if Young Mungo, which I bought new there,
yeah,
and the video games for Jesus were I could have used the credit for.
right, right,
So,
exactly. And books range there from 15 cents to $23, because they do have new books in there as well.
yeah. Yeah.
But you can really find books as cheap as 15 cents. I've got plenty of books on these shelves that I've got for 15
Oh,
cents.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy, get out of my book bags. Hey. She's over
So
there sniffing the
we
book.
did major damage in all of these stores, but I think McKay is where we did the most damage.
Yeah, McKay's always bad.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want what did we pick? 8 books that we were really
Mm-hmm.
excited to have found
Yes.
while we were out and about, right?
Yes.
Hi Merce, do you have a book? Did you pick a book? No, you didn't. Sorry for the extra.
Uh-oh.
Do you hear her?
Mm-hmm.
She's excited that I'm home.
Yes. She hasn't seen her mama.
She's like, "Mommy's home."
Yeah, so we picked 8.
8, right? Well, I wanted before we get into 8, I have a 9th that I just want to talk to you because I didn't notice this when I got it. So, we both ended up in different places picking up Into Thin Air, right?
Yes, we did.
So I'm over here hauling this lovely book on my little video. I'm filming it, and in the back, in the joy of used books, there's a sealed envelope that says confidential.
I love it.
No, this is sad.
Oh.
This is a 6-page ripped out of somebody's notebook and sealed up, multiple like pages.
Oh.
Where the title says "True Story: Another Lesson to be Learned." And I just skimmed this, and it seems like this human met some person on Facebook, and then that person just continued to swindle money off of them, and this is the saga.
Oh man. Oh, the Civil War books. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Oh,
Do you have any thrift stores in your area that you can check out?
yeah.
Because that just sounds so boring. Oh my goodness. I love when you get a used book and there's just some random things in it. I found checks, weird notes, extra newspaper articles about the author of the book, all kinds of things. Okay, the McKays in Chattanooga are amazing. Okay, great, great. I was trying to figure out, are they independently owned? They're not franchised, right? I'm very
I
confused
don't
about that
know.
part.
Okay, there's just random things from the letter. I still love him. I'm going to love. I will not let hate enter my heart anymore. Naomi,
Whoa.
I feel sad, empty. My heart is burdened today.
Wow.
I'm scared to read all of the paragraphs in order.
I don't even know what to say about that. Oh, yes, the Goodwills are terrible. I don't go to Goodwills anymore.
Oh, I don't like Goodwill.
There was so this is what 20, so I think back in 2020, I live in Virginia, which also crosses, Maryland, Virginia. And one Friday I decided to hit, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 Goodwills throughout Maryland and DC. All the book sections were terrible. And I said, okay, so this is just not the thrift store to go to when you want to buy books. Oh, we did go to Ollie's.
Yeah,
But
we do
my
like
Ollie's is next door to McKay. So McKay wins.
Yeah. And your Ollie's has like a lot of Amish romance.
Yes, it
has
does
a
a lot
large-
of Amish romance.
And I don't know if that's something that is just in all Ollie's.
Right. Oh, yes, and I've got some books out of my Dollar Tree. Okay, you're in PA. All right.
You should hunt down some things in Maryland then.
Okay, of course my daughter calls.
Your
Those
daughter
on the
always
podcast
calls.
know that every time I'm recording, my oldest daughter calls. It's like that girl's got spidey senses on me or something.
She does.
Every single time.
Every time. Every time. Yes, I know you hear a motorcycle, huh? Yes, you do. You hear a motorcycle. Anyway, so you want to go through some books?
Let's go through some books.
Because I have nothing to really contribute to the thrifting in my area conversation. Because all I have is the book barn, which is great.
That's why she comes down to visit
great.
me.
But it's just the book barn, and I can sometimes get stuff at Savers, but Savers is not nearby. Well, I don't know why I'm saying these things to you, because everything for you is like 45 minutes away, even if it's a mile.
Basically.
Yeah, it's bad. Anyway, what you got? What you got on your list?
Okay, I'm going to start with the one book that I bought at full price from Barnes & Noble. I was specifically looking for this book, and it is Bloodlands, Europe Between Hitler and Stalin by Timothy Snyder.
Ooh, ooh.
I was looking for this book, and this is the only copy they had. It's not a newly released book. I think it came out in 2010, but there is a new afterword that I really wanted to read with the book. So I was happy to find it. I paid full price for it, and that is that.
I wonder if Jesus has that. I'll have to go inspect his shelves, because
maybe
like something he would read. I guess I'll go with Barnes & Noble too. I actually found Kafka on the Shore for 50% off, or maybe I got the other one 50% off. But anyway, it was actually, there was a Murakami on the 50% off table at Barnes & Noble, and that was kind of crazy to me. And this was the next Murakami I wanted to try before I decide if I'm gonna keep reading him or not. So yeah. So I was excited to see this, and because at my K's and stuff, they're always expensive.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't have Kafka on the Shore, so I already knew that going into it. So,
but then I found it at the thrift store. Well, I think I found it at
then you found it at the thrift store the next day for like $2.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I'm never going to the bathroom again and leaving you alone with the books. I came back and you had like 4 books that I wanted.
I know. It was a good time. All right, my next one is okay. So I'm trying really hard to find just kind of like light, comfy reads in between my other reads. And I've always heard of this author, Fanny Flagg. So I saw one of her books called The Whole Town's Talking, and I was like, okay, I'll get it.
It does look cozy.
It looks so cozy. I'm trying to find more cozy reads. If I can find a cozy author that has like a crap ton of books in her catalog or his catalog, that'd be great. And I think Fanny Flagg is one of them.
You need to read that Maeve Beachney lady. She has like 97 million books.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. So
and they always have like Thomas Kincaid like covers, and
I like that. I like it. So I'm excited to read The Whole Town's Talking.
Oh gosh. Speaking of Europas, I picked up this I just picked up the books that were from Europa. And they all sounded really good. So this is Laurence Cosset, a novel bookstore, and it's just it's basically a murder mystery, or like just a mystery set around says the victims here are not members of the underworld, toughs or thugs, but mild, meek, and apparently ordinary people. In the eyes of their aggressors, they are guilty of only one crime: expressing their taste in literature.
Ooh, nice.
So I mean, I'm here for this. Yeah. Let's have like imagine all of our like booktube drama, the bookstagram drama becoming a actual murder mystery.
Okay, now excuse me, everyone. You do another book because my grandson's pizza was just delivered. So let me get that. Okay. You do another book.
For Caleb, I will wait. I guess I'll talk about this because we've already talked about it, but I found The Sweetness of Water. The guy was actually like putting out books at the 2nd Avenue, and was super excited to see this on his little cart to be added to the shelf. And I grabbed it, and then she grabbed 7 Days in June before I could grab it. But I at least got this before Naomi got to it. So I'm super excited for The Sweetness of Water. And Naomi's still getting her pizza, but that's okay. I will just try to entertain this dog who's running around like a crazy person. All right, so I talked about this one.
She yanked it from me.
I did yank it from you because I got to get at least one book. Thank you.
Okay. All right, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, I have always wanted to read the Silence of the Lambs series.
Uh-huh.
So did I find all of them? Anyway, I have Red Dragon.
Yep.
I think I found all of them. This is book 1.
That's book 1. Then it's Silence of the Lambs. Then it's Hannibal, I believe. And then there might be
Hannibal Rising. Yes, yeah. I found all 4, and I'm so excited to finally start this series. So, yeah.
I'm mad that they didn't have a hardcover of Silence of the Lambs. That was one of the books we were looking for Jesus, and just don't tell him there was a paperback. I think he really wants a hardback, but I wasn't sure if he would be like, I don't know. I got him enough books, okay?
Yes, you did.
He got enough things. He has quite the stack. It's like right over here. The stack over here. That's Jesus stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a good girlfriend.
Anyway. Yes, you are.
So we found this really wonderful companion book to the Raymond Feist like mini series, like Rift War Saga and everything. And I was super jazzed to see this. It's in fantastic condition. It's like leather bound. It's got all this, extra information about the world and the wars, and it's got beautiful artwork in it. And I'm slowly making my way through this series. And apparently, according to Naomi, Raymond Feist keeps getting talked about on BookTube now. So I feel like I was slightly ahead of a trend.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know who Raymond Feist was until I heard who's my husband? Henry Cavill. Cavill talk about it. Who's my husband, Naomi? I forgot.
Yeah, ever since
Thank
You
you,
had me
Melanie.
go on a run to see if I can find his books. Now, when I'm watching some of my like hardcore fantasy booktubers, they're talking about Feist.
I did get one duplicate from McKay's. That hardback is a
Hmm.
duplicate, but I didn't have it in hardcover. So,
Thank you, Melanie.
yes. We love you. So yeah. So we did kind of good on the Feist. And I think the only duplicate I had was Fingersmith. So the Sarah Waters book I already had.
Oh,
Yeah. And
oh, did I find that for you on my last run?
yeah, I think so.
We need to keep better lists.
One day I have to catalog my entire I need to take like a week off and just sit there and
Yeah.
catalog my books. But one, I have to not have nails, which I have to pry these off tomorrow because I have to go back to work on Tuesday. And
Yes.
I need Jesus to someone needs to like stand up and like read me the book titles and I can put them in.
Gosh. Hi, Shelby.
Hey Shelby.
Okay. Here's another series that I've been wanting to read, and I haven't because I rewatch the show like twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
and that is A Song of Ice and Fire. So
Mm-hmm.
I just picked up the first 3 books. This
In
is the
Game of
first one in Game of
Thrones.
Thrones. So I have held back on doing another rewatch, and I'm gonna start this series very, very soon.
When you get through books 1 and 2, let me know and I'll pick up again.
Okay.
Because I need to pick back up with that series. That's one of my
Okay.
many series that I have never finished.
Yeah. I needed to like distance myself a little bit from watching the show to like build a desire to actually read the books.
Well, I've only watched like 1.5 seasons.
Oh gosh, I've watched the entire thing so many times. It's really insane.
Yes, read with us,
Oh,
Shelby.
okay, yes,
Read
Shelby.
with us. So you read 1 and 2 with Naomi, and then I'll come in and we'll start at 3 together. Unless
Let's
you've already
do
read
it.
some number of them, and Naomi has to catch up.
Yes. It's all on me.
Speaking of series, I mean that's I'm not good at completing things, so I have so many series that are like if you just read one more book, you'll be done. But maybe one day I'll complete all
Maybe.
my series.
Maybe.
Speaking of series, I'm gonna lump these 2 together. I have the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov, which I've kind of always had my eye out for, but I can only ever find like one here and there, but never the complete series. And then they also had they had a bunch of stuff from him, but this one was just really funny. I just looked whimsical. It was this Azazel, and look at the little devil coming out of his pocket, and
Yeah, that's what caught my eye.
and the story sounds really, really just adorable. I guess his guy's got Azazel is a 2 centimeter tall fairy red imp possessed with an impetuous personality and marvelous magical powers, able to be summoned at will only by George Butternut, an eccentric linguist who has stumbled upon the ancient incantations for calling forth demons and sprites. It just sounds like fun, and it sounds like it's perfect for
It does sound fun.
It sounds like it's gonna be great, while also I'm simultaneously very slowly rewatching Buffy. Like it just sounds like a good episode. Doesn't it sound like an episode of Buffy?
It does.
So,
what I wanted to know is, or rather waiting to see, is when you read that bind up and if you like it.
I'm scared when you say that though, because am I gonna hate it?
Oh, now see, I don't know because I've never read the books. I only watched, I think, I want to say 2 or 3 episodes of the show. I've not read the book.
Okay. All right. But I'm like, I'm totally, yeah. I'm really interested in that one. And it was like $5. So she's almost always rewatching Game of Thrones, Shelby. So
I know I'm telling y'all, I have held back. Like, I feel like every other month I just start getting that itch where it's like, you know what I need to watch today?
There's
I
another
need to start
show.
over Game of Thrones.
Wait, there's a new show coming out?
Oh, yes, ma'am, there is. Oh, yes. The Targaryen family. And guess who's going to be clued right in? Me.
Can he just finish the books, please?
Yes, but also finish the books and give us more shows.
Okay. My priorities are different.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
All right, so I was so stoked to find book 2 in the Blackwater Rising series. So Attica Locke wrote this book called Blackwater Rising, and it was book 1 of the series. And I found Pleasantville, which is book 2. I read Blackwater Rising, I think 2 years ago, and I loved it. I loved it. So it's about Jay Porter, this attorney. I guess he had like big dreams of being some highfalutin attorney, but he's just helping the people, which means he's very
Highfalutin.
broke. Highfalutin,
I
but he's
love that.
very
I love
broke because
that
he's helping
word.
the people. He's married. He has a baby on the way, and I thought book one was really great. So I am super stoked to get into Pleasantville. I'm not sure how many books are in this series. Maybe 3. I'll have to check Goodreads, but I'm just happy I finally found Pleasantville.
We need to use highfalutin more.
Highfalutin.
Let's go here. I picked up this book, Beijing Coma by
Mm.
Ma Jian. And this thing just sounds really freaking interesting. So basically your main character, Dai Wei, I may have said that all wrong. Has been unconscious for almost a decade. He was a student at Beijing University and was pro-democracy. Was a pro-democracy a protester in Tiananmen Square when he caught a bullet and fell into a deep coma. When the authorities found out, he got like kicked out of the hospital and had to be taken care of by his mother. His mother ends up like taken to a whole bunch of like quack doctors and all over the place.
Yes, Melanie.
And the whole time he's just in this coma, and the way it sounds like the story is him um in his own head reliving all these things while he's in a coma,
Oh, that's deep.
while also outside the whole world is changing around him because he's just been stuck in this coma while China changes around him. So
Mm.
it just sounds incredibly moving. It just sounds amazing, and
Yeah.
there's something about it that gives me like almost pachinko like vibes with this, like I don't know, something about like the story. I don't know. There's just something. Maybe it's about like the capturing historic moments through like normal people's lives. I don't know, but
Who published that? What publisher?
this is FSG,
Okay.
and I can't believe it was 58 cents. This book sounds phenomenal.
That
Like
does sound really, really
absolutely
good.
phenomenal. So
Hmm.
I was psyched, and it's in fantastic condition too. So see, 58 cents for a phenomenal book.
Yes.
This is why we go to McKay's.
We love it.
We love it.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your term. And yes, everybody who wants to reread or read or catch
Yes.
up with or whatever Game of Thrones, let us know. We
I
can
will
do
be
that.
sure to do a post on our TBR Lowdown Instagram, letting you know, like, okay, I'm going to start on this day so you all can join in. That'd be really fun.
Ooh,
And
it's
maybe,
down from 99 cents.
yeah, and let me know if you want to do like a little Instagram private chat or if you want us to create a channel on our Discord. Either one is fine with me. All right.
I never go in our Discord, so because I'm bad. I'm
All right, so
overwhelmed with
I know it's a lot of things going
things.
on.
I need one app that I can just like click between that has
Do all
all
the
of my
things.
things. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So my next one is my girl, or I don't know if she's a girl, but her name is a girl's name. I found The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. This
When
is
they unmask who Elena Ferrante is, you're gonna be like, can you start that? Can you start like a one woman campaign to just sleuth out who Elena Ferrante
they've
is?
already there are so many articles on that already. Like so many.
So
I do believe
well, like, what if you're the one that cracks the case, Naomi?
I do believe some people probably know who Elena Ferrante
I
really
mean,
is.
somebody knows. I'm never
You
gonna
know
get
what I
this
mean?
picture off.
Like I do believe it. But anyway, I was so excited to get this book. Now, what I want to do is I need to finish she has a Neapolitan novels series. It's 4 books. I've read book 1 last year. I need to finish that. I've read Days of Abandonment, and I just want to read everything in her catalog, everything. So I'm so happy that I now own this. The Lying
I
Life
have
of
that, so
Adults.
we can read that together.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby would like Discord, and I will
Okay.
stop being a bad Discord host person, whatever it's called. So I just have this one out here because I have the second one as well, but I kept this out because I started reading it last night or rereading it last night. A long time ago I had all of these and then I got rid of them, and now I'm apparently getting them back. And that is the Deanna Rayburn series, the Lady Julia Gray novels, Silent in the Grave. And they're like Victoriana mystery romances that are just fun. The women are really like the main character is really, sort of this independent, brassy woman,
Yeah.
and she's a good time. She's fun. Comes from this crazy family where they have like 10 children, and I forgot this. It was like everybody else in the family, in the March family, tends to marry their cousins except for her father, who was like,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
weird. So I'm gonna marry someone outside the gene pool, and like whereas all of their other people in their family are like mildly crazy, all of the Marches are like very healthy. There's 10 of them instead of like 2. They have so many kids, and they're all just a hoot. And I get a kick out of it. And the love interest is so dreamy, and
Oh
they
my
solve
gosh.
mysteries. And I love it. I love it so much. It opens with her husband just like dying, just dying during a dinner party, and she's like, "Excuse me, can you get up, sweetheart? We have guests."
I'm
And
here for it.
it's just a good time. Like these are the kinds of things, you were talking about cozy, like this is my
Mm-hmm.
cozy.
Yep.
So getting these back, I'm really enjoying rereading them. The other person that I read along with this, when I read these the first time, was Tasha Alexander's series, which is Lady Emily, who's
Mm-hmm.
that they're very similar in tone, but they're kind of different. They're different. Lady Emily is a little bit more like she's like Greek and Roman scholar. She's a Greek scholar, and
Okay.
she's like Julia's just kind of she's just kind of like smart and independent, and that's her jam. And she was raised to be like that, so it's a good time. We love it.
I'm here for that. That sounds fun. I love it.
Great. I mean, I like Discord. I just forget it exists, and then I have too many things, and then I'm like never at a computer, and it's just
I know.
I,
The app is pretty good though.
the app is good. I just get overwhelmed with life. It's me. I get overwhelmed.
It's her. She said it. I didn't. I didn't.
It's me.
All right. So
Is
is
this
it
your
my
last one?
turn?
Is it your
No,
last one?
I have 2 more.
How do you have 2 more?
Probably because I want to go check on pizza.
Oh, that's right. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wait, how did you get that?
All right. So this is not something I was looking for. I didn't know it existed. But when I ran across it in the fantasy section at McKay, I said, you know what? That's for me. So the author is Lilith St. Crow. And this is a series called, I believe it's called Dante Valentine. And I got the first 3 books.
Oh, yes, you were reading those
Mm-hmm.
to me at dinner. It sounds so good.
And so basically, Dante Valentine is a contract assassin for the devil.
Mhm.
I'm here for it. Give it to me. This is urban fantasy, right? This is what this be classified
It
as.
sounds it
Yes.
sounded like urban fantasy.
I'm here for it. It's wonderful. So I've never heard this before. This is from Orbit.
Mhm.
But I'm excited to give it a try. I really am. So I got the first 3. Working for the Devil's book 1. Book 2 is Dead Man Rising. Book 3 is The Devil's Right Hand.
We're here for
I'm here for it.
It sounded like a good time. Honestly.
I'm looking for a good ride on this one. I'm pretty excited.
You heard it here. She's looking for a good ride.
That's what I said.
Oh god.
Do I go again because you already did all?
Yes, I have
8
no
yours?
other books.
All right, now.
I mean, I can go to the box and pull out more
Don't go
books
to the
if you want.
box. Don't go to the box. Stay alight from the light, Carol Ann. Stay away from the light, Carol Ann. Don't do it.
I can pull something off of Jesus' pile if you want.
All right, here's the piece de resistance. This is a trilogy that I was looking for, and I was just fingers, toes, everything crossed, hoping I would find it, and I did.
Yes.
So let me start by saying
I know what this
I
is.
kept hearing about this book called The Power of the Dog. I've heard this for months. Did I go on Goodreads and see what this book is about? No, I did not. I heard The Power of the Dog, and my weirdo brain was like, this sounds like a self-help book. And I just don't do self-help books, okay? And so
Why ever not?
So someone on Bookstagram, and I wish I could remember her name, but someone on Bookstagram posted about Don Winslow, that's the author, his latest book that's either out right now or is getting ready to come out. And she mentioned The Power of the Dog. And so then I went on Goodreads and I saw that it's a trilogy about a cartel. And I said, well, now that's right up my alley. So I found all three: The Power of the Dog, which is book one, The Cartel, which is book two, and The Border, which is book three.
Let me tell you, she
I'm
was
so
so
excited.
excited. She
I'm
came
so
like
excited.
rounding a corner at McKay's. She goes, I found it.
I was so excited. But I
I
don't know
put all
why
my
the
babies
title.
back.
Well, I don't know why the title, The Power of the Dog, immediately made me think self-help, but that's what my brain did. That's
I
what my
mean,
brain
I
did.
guess it makes some sense. It sounds like some sort of stupid self-help book title.
Something was happening.
It would be
So
like The Power of the Dog, how to sell and kick ass or something.
yeah, something like that. Something like that. So anyway, I'm very excited to start this. I am most likely going to start this month because that's how excited I am. And the first line is like, oh, okay. So the first line is, the baby is dead in his mother's arms. I need to know what's going on there. So I'm ready for it.
The best first line is that book you gave me that's name is escaping me that starts with like, my boyfriend has a beautiful penis.
Oh yes. Just by looking at him.
Yes, just by looking at him.
Yes,
And
I
then like
think.
the whole paragraph goes on.
Yeah.
And then the second paragraph is like, he's kind of nice too.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep. That's coming out in May, I think, from Atria. So yeah, these are just some of the books that we hauled that we're really excited about. But honestly, I'm excited about everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, I'm not as excited about Jesus' stuff, but I'm excited to give it
Yeah,
to
but
him.
your stuff, yeah.
My stuff I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I found some good stuff. I found some fantasy series I've been looking for that have been on my list. I found a lot of randos. I found some classic stuff or like, modern classics that
Yes.
I've heard of or have been interested in. There's some good stuff. We found some good things, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
This
Oh,
this
go ahead.
Beijing coma though, I need to probably prioritize this because this just sounds like crazy.
Yeah. It really does. I love it.
And I've never read anything about Tiananmen Square. Obviously, I know about it because I mean, I was alive for that. So, and I remember watching that stuff on the news because I mean, that played everywhere.
Yeah.
Because that was horrendous. So, yeah. Sorry, I just brought that down to a sad place. I don't know. Ghost dick. I don't know.
Well, I have just created a new channel in our Discord called Read Alongs, and I've got a Song of Ice and Fire on there. If you go to our
Shelby.
Oh.
I hope you like it.
You're starting this, Shelby. You're really gonna do it. Okay. Would you like to read together? Alyssa's. If you want to read together, I just started it. I think a week and a half ago. That's right. The pages go backwards.
Yes, the pages go backwards.
I'm only a few pages in.
I can't do math.
I'm in part one, Fog. I stopped where the beginning says Shore General Store. If you would like to read along together, just let me know. Is this your first book by her? Because Alyssa and I both read her other two books that
are more recent.
Yeah, are more recent. Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead and Flights. Okay, 100 pages a week. Okay. So when did you start? Just let me know where you are and I'll catch up to you. I'll make a priority and I'll catch up to you.
I feel like.
This is your group. This is your thing you're doing on your Discord. Can you DM me your Discord link so I can join it? Your Big Books thing. Okay, y'all. Just so you know, we did have Shelby and the book club on our podcast. Just go to our website tbrlowdown.com and give it a listen. Shelby says she's sometimes afraid of big books, and we told her, don't be afraid of big books.
Maybe that big book.
Be your friend.
Maybe that big book.
And I just want to say, if you end up hating the books of Jacob, don't let that be the thing that makes you hate all big books, because that's just not fair.
Because Love Songs is big and
Okay,
wonderful.
starter today. Okay. So this will be our third by her. Wow, you're just okay. All right.
And by the way, this is the power of the dog. This right here behind me is the power of the dog. You just do this. Look at her. Look at her.
Oh man. Oh, okay. Oh, so that's what I was saying. If you go to our website, tbrlowdown.com, and click on Discord, you can join our Discord from there. And if you want to read along with us for the Song of Ice and Fire series, just leave a little note in that channel that I've created, and we can all choose a start date together and figure that out.
It's not the length of the books. The length of the book is not why something might be bad. Toxic trait is that I dive head first into everything.
Yeah. Well, I would say that her other two books, Flights and Drive Your Plow, are really good books.
Drive Your
So
Plow.
keep that in mind as well.
So
I do think she is a phenomenal writer. Now, the books of Jacob, supposedly, the Polish people feel like that's her magnum opus, right? They think this is like the best thing that she's got going. Yes? This is the book? Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Now I have a lot of thoughts and questions.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
remember, I told you to abort.
Well, we'll see where I land on this. We'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully somebody likes it.
Yeah. And can tell us why they like it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is supposed to be her shining star.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have Madonna in my head now.
Is it book recommendation time?
It is book recommendation time. That just made you want to read it more, me shouting abort at you. Oh, you're... It's all right. If you hate it, we can smack talk it. Naomi?
Yeah.
Did you get your recommendation?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommend, since I finished it on the drive down to you, started and finished The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. You have to read this.
Yes, I'm going to.
And
that's Tranquility.
And that's really, and I need you to do it soon. So I really didn't know much about it. I just really love Station 11, and I'm like, I will read anything this woman writes because it's just good. And I love this. I just love the way she weaves together her narratives, and how she's like so fluidly moves between like past and present, and how she can have so many characters, and they all kind of get development, and they all can interconnect, and it just ends up not being overwhelming in any way. It totally makes sense. They're short, like it's just, I love it. You basically have this Bertie Madoff like character, who's like one of his whole storyline is like one of the main plot drivers, but he's not necessarily the main character. His like wife and her brother, and you feel like it should be about this glass hotel, but the glass hotel is really just kind of like a location for everybody to kind of have a reason to be connected. It's not necessarily like set in a glass hotel. And it was just phenomenal. It's just so good. It's such a good look at class and corruption and white collar crime and sibling relationships, and it was so good. It was so good. It was just so stinking good.
Yes, I told you it's May now, so it may be on my hold shelf at my library now, because I did a request to activate my hold on May 1st, so I can probably pick it up then.
Pick it up, woman.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that I had the Glass Hotel in my possession for like 6 months during the pandemic when all the libraries were closed, and they were like, just hold on to your books. That's how long I had it and didn't read it. So shame on me. Okay.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
And I'm curious to see which character, because you said that somebody or something from this book carries over into Sea of Tranquility.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see, because like I said the other day to you, like it looks like there are a couple people that could if there's characters carrying over, there's a couple of people who could carry over. There's a couple different plot points that could carry over. There's a couple different ways that you could connect it to another story. So I'm really curious to see what she does, because I just really like the way she weaves a story. It is so masterful. I love it.
I'm excited. All right. Speaking of the Dollar Tree, I got this book, The Lonely Hearts Hotel, from the Dollar Tree back in 2019. This is also a Russell from Ink and Paper Blog recommendation. I don't know what I thought this book was about, but it's not, like, after reading it, I had no idea. I was listening to this book while I was on a walk, and it's just so juicy. So we're following Rose and Petraeu. They are two babies that were abandoned at a Montreal orphanage. They're not related, just two babies. And, as they get a little older, they really begin to like one another. And the nuns in this orphanage are just not having it. They can already see that if they just allow this to continue, that Rose and Petraeu are going to become a thing. And these horrible nuns don't want any of these children to find happiness. These nuns feel like, because these children have been abandoned, because either their parents died or because there was so much struggle going on in Montreal at the time, they couldn't afford them, that these children were not really destined to have a great life, that their lot in life was to have a pretty substandard life. And so why give these children hope of finding love when they're not really going to have a wonderful life to begin with? So that's how the nuns,
sad.
It is, but that's how the nuns carry things. I mean, some of them were very abusive, verbally and physically. There was a nun that was just a straight up pervert. This book tackled a lot. So Petraeu was this, like, what do you call it? Like a piano prodigy. And Rose is a really good dancer, but also there's something about her that just lights up any room she goes into. And she's like the darling of wherever she is. She's the darling of the moment. And their chemistry is undeniable. And so the nuns somehow basically separate these two kids, and they end up going their separate ways. And so what you're watching Petraeu kind of pine over Rose and try to figure out where she is, why she hasn't responded to his letters, because when he left the orphanage and Rose was still there, they had no contact, because soon after Petraeu left, Rose also left. So she's wondering why Petraeu never got in touch with her, and he's wondering why she never got in touch with him. And it's this great journey of them, dealing with other people, getting other relationships, trying to find work, trying to make a life, and then finding their way back to each other. And I'm going to leave it there, because what happens after they find each other is really interesting.
All right.
And
I have a
really
recommendation
drama filled. And I just think everyone should read it. It's a great read. I had a good time, but I wasn't expecting, like, the seriousness of it. We deal with, like, sex work. It's just all kind of stuff. It was really good.
Okay, so if you liked that one, you have to read this one.
And I do have that, because I downloaded that last year for Amazon's whatever, when they give the translated works.
Yeah. So, and if anybody else has heard what you said and wants to try something else that sounds like that too, at the end of the matinee is really good. You got that, like, two people who get separated by, like, happenstance, and then there's miscommunication, and not like stupid miscommunication tropes, but there's things that just keep them from coming together, and then how that all plays out. And it's so good.
Yeah.
Because I don't like miscommunication tropes, but I do like sort of like misconnection tropes.
Yeah, like, this is not a miscommunication trope. This is, we lost each other. It's not like I said something that you interpreted to be something else. It's not that. It's something we lost each other. But I just thought it was fantastic. And so that makes me want to read her current book, which I'm now forgetting the name of, but just look up her name, Heather O'Neill. This is The Lonely Hearts Hotel. But I've also heard that her book that just came out this year is also fantastic. And I do plan on reading that one at some point as well.
I don't even know if I have a Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And when I and anytime I've ever been to, like, any of our dollar stores, it's just like Bibles and like Bible studies, and I don't know, it seems like it's very Jesus focused.
It's very Jesus focused.
It's very Jesus focused. You take your dollar and listen to Jesus, and that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah. So yeah, that's well. This is a lot of books we talked about today.
We talked about a lot of books. This was a lot.
Well, this weekend was a lot.
This weekend was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of books.
Yeah, this week I'm definitely making time to number one film my haul video, which should be on my Instagram,
It's all Bible.
and then putting all the books away.
Yeah, yeah, tomorrow I have to clean up after Jesus. So I don't know when my books are gonna go away. But I think I'm off this weekend, right? I said I was off this weekend, right?
Yeah, I mean the goal, because we're going to be doing our mega recording session on Saturday, and Sunday is my gardening day. All this has to be done by Friday night before I go to bed.
You know,
that's my goal.
We also have to do a live for
for our April book, Battle Royale.
I also need to finish it.
If anyone read this was our April book club pick, Battle Royale. So yeah, we'll be doing a live show about that soon. So stay tuned.
We have to just pick a day, and I have to finish reading it. Because I was listening to it on the drive home, and then I stopped in New Jersey and took a nap, and then I didn't listen to it, and I listened to Bone Orchard, and necromancy and weird.
It won the day.
Weird genderless like robot people that share a mind. They were just more interesting.
I get it. It won the day. Yeah. It happens.
It happens. I was just more into that.
Yeah, I am. I'm not mad. Yeah. Okay.
But I will say I'm like halfway through Battle Royale, I think, and the murdering gets more like violent, which I'm not upset about. And the political intrigue is getting more. They're showing more, and I'm like, all right, okay, maybe I'm getting more into this book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So. Fingers crossed. I keep going.
Fingers crossed. Yes. Yeah, so stay tuned for all of that.
Oh God.
Oh, just careful, Mercy. Just go to TBRLowdown.com for everything.
Yes, Hemi just stood up, so that means I have to do something. Anyway. So I need to go.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us. This was a long episode.
Yes, it was. Sorry, the old man needs to go for a walk.
All right, we're gonna what? Just check out. We're done. We're out.
We're done. All right.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.